気にさせちまったな。
Welcome back, summoners, to another video pertaining this one to the conflict between two major support units and a new support unit that's about to, if not may, take over his role. We are here to defend our boy Hart, the original Hart, of course, against the mighty Shaula. Both of their kits mainly seen through their true arts, both being percentage healing as well as good arch gem from it. Without further ado, let's see the differences besides those very clear similarities. Now, because she's an Ascended unit, she will obviously have more stats, right? And this is a 7-star, right? Now, when it comes to units like this, or how I upload stuff or whatever, right? Normally I would not have or I'll just go full all in with their kit, right? Just both their slots is 7 or 6. No, we're gonna go into their kits as if they're LB5. And for Hart, normally he would get smoked here. However, since she is JP only as of the moment, 10/7/2025, we are going to be using JP's Heart. Note that JP's Heart is actually Dream Awoken as well as updated. So we're going to compare the two. Extra stats, we're not going to get into it, but we are going to get into their base stats. So, of course, as we see here with Heart stuff, Shaula has the major advantage as she is an Ascended unit, so she has that clear advantage over him by having just sheer more stats than him overall. So right now, Hart isn't looking too well, but we're not looking at stats for Hart. Next, we are going to be looking at the slots they're going to be using. Now we're gonna say this, put this through the lens of a new-ish player. That's why I said LB5 and only LB5. And if it's Dream Awoken, Heart's still gonna be LB5. So Dream Awoken is viable tier 2 because we're seeing them at their peak that you can get them to without being a whale. All right. So the slots for Hart is the 6-star, or not 6-star, the 5-star magic equip slot, which is for his true weapon, True Vertrag. The skill for this weapon, for 10 seconds, increases his own damage by 40% and reduces enemies' earth resistance by 35%. And when equipped by him, he increases his own stats by 10% and gets Archden by 2 forever. Also, as a sub passive, it gives out magic damage by 10% increase. So he's doing a little bit more damage, but we're not here for his damage, right? Because obviously his stats aren't like that, and based on all of these, he's not doing that. Now we go, wait, no. Wait, yes. We go over here to Shaula. She has a 5-star support slot. They both do, right? And then for her magic slot, she has Shaula, True Show, whatever. For 10 seconds, reduces enemies' magic resistance by 30%, and if it's a user, which is her, increase her own arts by 10. Okay, it's pretty good, right? Compared to hearts. This is overall for magic. And it's her, she gets 2 arts per second, infinity, and heal amount by 20%, excluding the seal, of course, and increases her accuracy. So based on true equips alone, it looks like hers is already starting to get ahead of Heart's ish. She can heal more to herself, but she's not getting the stat boost, right? We go over here. It's just magic, or this is okay. Overall, we're already seeing the differences. Looks like she might be a DPS, right? Also, sub DPS, whatnot. Heart is mainly support, and we're here to vouch for Heart. So, the third slot is a 4-star heal, and this is why I said we're only gonna do 5 stars. She, on the other hand, has a 4-star support. Now, normally that would be good, but you'll need either expert LB stones, or you're gonna max her out by getting 2 more of her, which is basically whale behavior unless you're re-rolling for her. That said, if we're going full comparison, you just pull her right out the gate and you don't want to summon anymore because you're not a whale, you're only gonna have the 4-star support. Now that is still very good, as there's some arts they can get from it, such as you know, right? But she's missing out on the heal right here. Now, usually that wouldn't be necessary, but if it's comparison to between Hart and Shaula herself, Hart is already in the lead, even though he is not giving out a support slot in the 4-star area. He is giving off a free revive, a Sadist element cleanse, or extra big healing. Normally that's not a big deal, as people say like, well, just use Hoka, Kirisame, Shiro, Magic Shiro that's going to be coming out in a bit. But no, we are not including collaboration units, as stated as various videos before on this channel. When comparing units and teams, and we're not in a scenario of a crossover units and or equips are not allowed, because that's just an easy way of saying, well, this unit's obviously better, so. And I will say that they're not allowed for another reason, because we never know when those units and or equips are gonna ever come back. Now, let's get into the skills. First off, for this, we're gonna have to go over into passives, because in order to really look at what they're gonna do, we gotta know what their passives are first, and then we can go through their skills, their arts. So for Heart, we'll be going to his Aquarius dream to utilize him to his full ability. And then for her, she just has her own passive. Now, for Hart, his full passive plus a dream awakening we're including is that once every time he uses his true arts, it doesn't matter if he actually pulls it off, as long as you flick it twice, he'll permanently increase everybody's stats by 10%. The max is 30%. And it doesn't stack with anyone. Of course, Freerin is doing the same, but of course we don't talk about her because she is not. All collab units don't have a guaranteed return. Now, we see here he's technically the only one that can do this in the game exclusively. Now, I may be wrong about that, but he is a top tier unit from the get-go. So top tier unit as well as doing this is a whole other game. He also has a rare ability for cross battle, as he can get, if he's in the second party, he gains the arts equal to what the unit, obviously it says right here, he places that had at the time. So if let's say if Miranda died and she had like 200 arts, right? He would get that 200 arts and already get on with the true arts. Now we'll go over here and see that he also increases Earth allies damage by 30%. So he's also helping out his own attribute team, his own, I think, attribute element team. Now, we see here at his Dream Awakening, there's two different ones. There's the DPS version and the support version. Now, I would want to have him with the green on the green, but this is only for Earth units, I would say, because it increases all Earth's damage, allies damage by 70%, making it a full 100 with his other passive. His main passive, and increases his own damage by 30%. He's got this, I think it's the Slayer thing, when enemies HP is under 30%. But we're not doing that because that's not what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to support. So with his dream, Aquarius, oh, I get it's weird. Aquarius, oh, doesn't matter. First thing that comes up is increase all allies fire resistance by 20%, thus making him a lot easier to tank fire bosses. Okay, and it increases his own support equips cooltime speed by 10%, so you'll be able to get this faster. Now, we gone through Heart. It's already broken as it is, with the permanently increased allies stats by up to 30%. That's something, that's like a whole extra stat increase. That's not including units that increase stats right out the gate, like Vox, because when Vox uses his stuff, that stacks on top of this, I believe so. Now we go to Shaula, right? Shaula stuff increases everybody's max HP and spirit allies, or everybody's max HP by 20%, and if they're a spirit, additional 10, so up to 30 for spirits, 20 for everybody else. Already going off with a bad start, I'd rather have everybody have 30%. Increase allies paralysis resistance by 30%. Why not 100%? If we might as well do that. And increase own accuracy by 10%. We're already off to a bad start with passives with her, but she is able to do lock on to the enemy much better than he would. But Based on what I've already seen and what I'm looking up here is that she's also gonna be a DPS. So she's trying to do 2 jobs at once. Usually that would be good, but in this case it might be a tad bit bad in what we're trying to do here. So we'll go to skills and see what they got. So for Hart, he reduces enemies accuracy by 10%. Little niche thing, right? And you're not really going for, you're just going for the BE if you need to. Now hers is increasing own accuracy by 30%. So it looks like she's trying to successfully do 2 jobs at once, being a DPS as well as a support unit. So we're gonna go over to the arts. Now so far it's looking a bit even-ish right now. For her arts is 22,000. And yes, they're both doing earth magic damage, so that's another reason why they're going head to head. When next true arts is used, her true arts, heal allies burn, poison, blind, and blindness. Poison, burn, and blindness will be healed. And when next super arts is used, heal allies HP by 100%. Okay. My question is, why isn't this everything? Where's paralysis? Where's freeze? You know, the main ones? She's already not doing she already doesn't have a healing slot because we're limit break 5. You just pulled her and you're not a whale. And you're not re-rolling either. When super arts is used, heal allies HP by 100%. Now this is in itself is pretty decent, right? Like you just use your super arts in case, like, I don't know, like something bad happens. It's only just the arts too. Now we go to Hart. Arts, 17,000. Again, he's not supposed to do damage, but it's a plus. For 20, well, how long was that? Oh no, that's until you use them. Yeah, that's until you use your true arts and super arts. But you could just keep reusing them right now. Yeah. But for this, 25 seconds, increase allies' arts damage by 50% and reduce enemies' earth resistance by 30%. Now this alone is really helping, as it's for increasing damage for the units as well. He's got a support, so he's gonna get able to get all of his arts enough to get to his true arts. Not only that, but if you don't know, though many people should, every time he uses this passive, it's technically like a second heal, just by a 10% heal-ish. I don't know the specifics. I just know it's 10% heal. It heals and increases damage and defense of everybody, at least by 10% more. And then she's only increasing max HP by 20%, everybody, and then spirits 30%. She's not doing anything else for her passive for everybody besides that. Not only increasing everybody's arts damage by 50%, though it's only for 25 seconds, this abilities so far in game I can find and equip that does this, just only permanent, is gonna be fuck, I forgot to put this up. It is gonna be labeled as support 5-star. Of course, that's almost everything, but it's close, right around Relic Santa Arpa. Not only increases arts gauge by 35 to targets, but also increases the target's arts damage by 50% until the unit dies, supposedly. We go over here, he increases it for all allies. Now everybody's doing extra damage. And a big plus for earth units because he just reduced the enemy's earth resistance by 30%. While over here, she's only doing a fraction of a status element heal. And when next super arts is used, she heals everybody's HP by 100%. Now that may come in clutch. I know what some clutches are. This might be a good clutch, but it's not really helping anybody else right now. She is not supporting anybody else's damage, but hers and her own utilities. Hart is already boosting everybody's arts damage by 50% and everybody's stats by up to 30%. And a big plus for any earth allies that are on the team, giving them 30% damage. And if you're using Verdant Dream, you're giving them a full 100%. Of course, we're using Aquarius for this talk or whatever. But he's also reducing the enemy's earth resistance by 30% if I need to say it again. Hart is looking very good right now. But now comes the real go-getter. True arts. The one thing that we've been all waiting for. All been waiting for. Now, Hart. Nope, we're not doing Hart. We're gonna do Shaula since she's trying to take Hart's crown. Shaula's true arts is 55,000, while Hart's is 45,000. For 25 seconds, heal all allies' HP by 5% per second, and arts by 6 per second. And it is type B, so you can't use her with Hart unless you're using her for DPS, I suppose. Now, if we put this into mathematics or whatever, that's over at least... Wait, where am I looking? Oh yeah. 150 arts right out the gate for true arts. If you hold this out. 150. Now we're looking at this as well. So 25 times 2, that's 50. So she's able to get her own true arts. By herself. That's a good thing. That's basically Emperor. Except Emperor's aura farming more like 90% of the time. So we can't really say anything about that. And 5% of everybody's HP per second. So in total, that would be about 125% of everybody's health will be healed in the span of 25 seconds. Now, we go over here to Hearts, True Arts, because we're on JP, because it's JP versus JP. 10,000 less magic damage that he's doing, But of course, we're not looking at damage. For 15 seconds, heal all allies' HP by 6% per second, and increase allies' arts by 5 per second. And for human allies, increase arts by 7 per second instead. So, if we're gonna take this into just a regular old team, and taking his true weapon passive into consideration, 15 times 2, that's 30, and then 15 times 5, 75. So just about a little under, actually no, because he's human. So 115, if I'm correct. Am I correct? 7 times 15. 90. What? No, that can't be right. That's odd. $97? No. 105. What? Oh, that doesn't make sense. Hold up. What if we just did this? It was 2 per second for this, right? Yep. That's 7, 9, 15, 150, 135. 135 arts. Now, normally that would be bad because it's whatever, you know. However, she's like running the middle, right? And she's doing it for longer, so she's able to mess around a little bit more. Six percent for 15 seconds. That's 90% of healing every 15 seconds. Now, normally we would say that, and this is like with himself, like this is not for everybody, right? This is for everybody. The 5 per second. That's only like 65. No. This I'm pretty sure it is. No, 75. It's only 75 for regular units. Now, normally this will be very bad. However, besides the fact he's only for support and he's not really meant to use his arts, but he could use his arts if he wanted to. He, and I'm going to keep bringing this up, is increasing it way more than you'd think. And a little bit extra. Because of the permanent 30% increase of everybody's stats. He is giving everybody more health, and the fact that he can remove a status element with his any status element with his healing, as well as switching it out for a revive or just straight healing, like health, like a flower cane. Now this is where it starts to divert very far. Shaula is an ascended unit. Because she's an ascended unit, she has the perk of having a super arts. Now she's already getting 200 from her true arts. Thus, she needs at least another 300 to go, because once that depletes, once this depletes, she needs another 200. So overall for the team, in order to use her to her fullest extent, she needs another 300 arts. Or as a whole for the team, 500 arts in 25 seconds. Now, of course, this is where it diverges quite a bit. Her super arts, 150,000% damage for 25 seconds. Increase all allies' damage by 20% and non-Earth allies' damage by an additional 100%. This is where most of her support went into. Giving everybody an extra, well, anyone that isn't an Earth unit, 300% extra damage. Of course, this is good for, really good for nukes. However, I could see this being messed up because of the fact that you'd also want her true arts in the middle of it. Now, I'm not downplaying her or putting him on the highest pedestal on freaking planet Earth. I am here to say that these two units are very good in their own right. And this is coming from, you're not a whale or you're not re-rolling. In fact, it's better if you do not re-roll, because you know, I don't care about that anymore. Anyways, where was I? Right, Shaula and Hart have their own uses. Shaula being a little bit more out there because you're an Ascended unit. But, of course, we get to my favorite part of this. How easy is it gonna be to get them? And this is where everything just falls apart for the both of them, because they're basically equally useful. Hart for more of a support type long fight unit, and Shaula being more of a DPS supporter hybrid. Very good in their own right. No one's over the other. Again, no whales allowed. No whales, no crossovers allowed. With that said, based on how you say obtainability, Hart overall wins. Of course, there's people that will get lucky to get her on their first pool. But she is not on the forever summon. The forever summon being a 30-day everyday summon for a gamble of getting a limited unit. Hart being on that banner. No, that it's also the fact that he's an Awoken unit, thus making him far easier to grab instead of the aside from the Awoken, or not Awoken, Ascended unit. Better rates to get. Also has his own little series of units, or banner I think it is. Cross the Blades I think it's called. I think it shows up yearly, every year, once a year, something around there. Making him again even better to not even better, what? A higher chance to grab him. Now I grabbed my heart off the Forever Summon. Who knows how long it's gonna take for her to be on the Forever Summon. Again, not saying that they're both bad, but in my own experiences, Heart, Original Heart, Earth Heart, of course this is JP, takes the cake. Now I thank you for your everyone that stayed around to the end, and I'll see you guys on the next video. I Zermio am out. Happy summoning, summoners.